By September 1931, the Japanese had control of the South Manchurian Railway. Having a large navy meant also it could disrupt trade with the area. The power and influence the Japanese had over the area could mean only one thing: invasion. To understand more about the Manchurian crisis, we have come here to northern China.
Specifically, what used to be Manchuria.
To understand what exactly it was the Japanese wanted.
During the Great Depression, the Japanese economy was in crisis. Both China and the USA put up trade barriers against the import of Japanese goods, so it was unable to sell them and lost income.
Japan needed raw materials such as cotton and oil, which is imported from China. Due to the mountainous geography and the lack of farmland, Japan also depended on importing coal from China, and without this trade could not feed its growing population. Therefore, the Japanese military-dominated government embarked on an aggressive foreign policy on expanding the Japanese empire so it was less dependent on the foreign trade.
In September 1931, the powerful Japanese army claimed that the Chinese had sabotaged the Japanese-built and controlled South Manchurian Railway. In retaliation, they invaded Manchuria. In February 1932, they set up a force, and Japanese aeroplanes and gunships bombed the Chinese city of Mukden, now Shenyang.
But what exactly was the League of Nations? Well, to find the answer, we can go to where all the answers are. The library. Somewhere up here. Aha. You find this. This will tell us the answer. The League of Nations was an organisation proposed in 1917 by Woodrow Wilson, President of the US at the time. It was finally formed in January 1919. The powers involved in the League could discuss, condemn and punish a country if it displayed acts of aggression towards other nations, and they set in to deal with the crisis in China.
Well, so what did the League do about it? Well, the League ultimately didn't do anything. The decision at first was delayed due to Japan being a member of the League. Later on, they decided to investigate the situation themselves. Although they wanted to place economic sanctions, the USA was Japan's main trading partner, and the USA wasn't in the League. The last issue was that Britain still wanted to maintain good relations with Japan. Because of all these factors, the League did nothing.
On the 18th of September 1931, the Manchurian crisis, also known as the Mukden Incident, began. When Japanese soldiers blew up a section of their own railway in the Chinese region of Manchuria. The South Manchuria Railway had been controlled by Japan since the end of the Russo-Japanese War. But the relationship between the local Chinese population and the Japanese soldiers who guarded the line was tense following the onset of the Great Depression. Some renegade members of the Japanese Kwantung Army believed that the conflict in the area would be beneficial for Japan. Japanese groups detonated a small quantity of dynamite near the tracks at around 10:20 p.m. on the evening of 18th of
The
September.
Manchurian crisis, the rise of Japan, the invasion of Asia, and the failing of the League of Nations. Quite a bullet wound in our history.
It led to many conflicts between Russia and Japan, possibly influenced Japan's actions in World War II, and ultimately was one of the killing blows to the League of Nations.
Due to Japan being a member of the League.
The League of Nations. So it was unable. Was in crisis. Both China.
Another one.
Against the import of Japanese goods. So
And
it was,
another one.
the Japanese economy was in crisis. Both China and the USA put up trade barriers against the import. So it was unable to sell them abroad for income.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, good job.
To understand more, Laura! To understand.
Better get out.
Sweet Caroline. Bah, bah, bah.